Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to TIP Annual Conference 2022, themed The Parenting Advantage. We're bringing you coaches from all over the world, from Nigeria, Australia, Germany, Canada, the USA, and the United Kingdom, even India. Get ready, your mind will be blown, your parenting game will be lifted high. You want to be a part of this. My name is Joy Unspeakable, and I am the official MC of the Intentional Parents Academy. See you.
Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Chris Iswekin.
And I'm Happiness Iswekin.
And we are Livon Yadas from Benin City. We joined the Inner Circle in December 2021, and it has been an awesome experience for me and my family. You know, last year when my wife introduced the Inner Circle to me, I actually cared less about it. I'm one of those parents who feels like you don't need anyone to teach you or coach you on how to parent a child. You know, but she insisted, she persisted, she enrolled me for the TIP Annual Conference of last year, and before the end of the first session, I was already hooked. And by the end of the conference, we had registered for the Inner Circle. And I want to thank my wife for bringing me to the light of parenting. It has been a journey that has been worth the while.
When we joined the Inner Circle, I thought Coach Wendy was going to teach us how to make our child better. But one of the first things you will learn when you join the academy is that parenting is first about you. Children learn through modeling. So whatever character you want in your child, you must first possess. The knowledge we have gotten these past 8 months has been life transforming. The weekly webinars, the monthly webinars, the knowledge we get. Sometimes after a session, you just sit down for 30 minutes, your mind is still thinking about what you just heard.
Seriously.
It has been amazing.
Seriously.
The connection tools we get every day has helped us better connect with our daughter.
Yeah.
And family time has always been awesome.
So hurry up, join the Inner Circle today, and you will never regret it for any reason. So thank you all for your time, and we hope to see you in the yard.
And thank you so much. We're going to be having Loretta moderate this session, so I'm going to be out of the stream. Hi, Loretta.
Good evening, Ma. Good evening, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another mind-blowing session. Oh, my God. You already know by now that with TIP, everything is always mind-blowing. Like fire, fire. You're beginning to learn of the concept behind the fire emoji, right? My name is Loretta Itama. I'll be your anchor for tonight's session. Welcome to this episode of the annual conference, the TIP annual conference. We'll be taking the session with Dr. Elizabeth Mildo-Vidov. I hope I got that pronunciation correctly. She'll be with us very shortly. I hope you have been learning something from the conference so far. Like for me as a yada, we always learn differently, you know. What you hear and what we hear, like in the Inner Circle, is different because Waba Cathedral has rewired our ears to pick some salient details that everybody just, gets like that. So welcome to this session. Thank you so much to TIP for this like one of a kind privilege. I really do not take it for granted at all. Thank you for this unique opportunity to serve. I'm really, really very grateful. I know a lot of you have heard about TIP. I know some of you may be hearing about it for the first time. In TIP, we have the Inner Circle, which is an annual subscription-based program we have. In the Inner Circle, we're called Yadas. So each time you hear the word Yada, Inner Circle is about that program that is built to rewire your thinking. Like Mama Cathedral says, leave your table outside, because when you bring it, she will break it and give the table new legs. Now, this Inner Circle has been changing lives, transforming destinies. Over 1,000 families are being changed by what she does. Like, I don't even want to see. I don't know how to brag about the Inner Circle. Now, it's for a number of years. I'm currently in year one and I'm blown away already. Like my system of parenting has changed. The way I think, talk, and act. Oh my god. So we'll take a quick break now and take a review from one of our yadas, like a fellow yada like me. Don't worry, very soon you also be called the yada. Don't worry, just listen to the review. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Mrs. Loretta Itama. I have been a Yada for 7 months now. Yadas are members of the Inner Circle or the Intentional Parents Academy now. TIP has been a game changer for me, not just as a mom, but as a person myself. I've learned to go from a place of yelling to a place of calm. I've learned the discipline that works. I've learned about my children's temperament, their love languages. Oh my God. Imagine having to hug a child like 12 times a day. It's not easy, but like Mama Cathedral will always say, don't come to the Inner Circle with your expectations. We are the expectations. Like, I'm proud to be a Yada any day, anytime.
Welcome back. Are you ready for another sensational moment, for another change, another mind-blowing session? Very quickly, let's welcome with drum rolls, with the fire emojis, and with high expectations. Like with TIP, there's so much ginger. A home is always like the head of that home. You have met Coach Wendy, whether in person or online, she has ginger. And the ginger comes with a lot of swag. So with so much finesse. And drum rolls, can we welcome tonight's speaker, Dr. Elizabeth, please, as she shares with us from her deep well of knowledge, every speaker. So let's quickly listen to her profile so we'll start this session.
Dr. Elizabeth Milovidov is a lawyer from California, a law professor in Paris, France, and a former digital safety consultant in Europe. She researches solutions to empower parents to guide their children in the digital age. And she's a firm believer that children can have positive, creative, educational, and entertaining digital experiences through social media, online video games, and other digital technologies. She is the founder of digitalm.org, formerly digitalparentingcoach.com, a website and community with resources for parents. Her previous consulting projects include the Council of Europe, Children's Rights and Education Departments, Microsoft Digital Safety, and E-Infants Child Online Protection. She is an international speaker on digital parenting and safety, and her work has been featured in WSJ, BBC, France 24, FOSI, Internet Matters, and other media outlets and organizations focused on child online safety. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the TIP Annual Conference, Dr. Elizabeth Milovidov.
And welcome. You look amazing. Like,
You said I needed to bring the ginger.
of course. Welcome, man. Hope you're having a great day so far.
Oh, definitely. And listening to you and hearing about all this excitement, I am ready.
Thank you so much for being with us. You have the floor now. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let me go ahead and get started and start sharing.
All right. Yes. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Let's see. Let me share my slides. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to introduce myself a little bit here. So even though you've already seen the introduction, but I want to tell you about myself
myself. So as you know, I'm a law professor, but I'm from California, and I'm speaking to you from Paris, France. And I do digital parenting workshops and events, and I'm always trying to spread the word about digital parenting and to let you know, don't panic, parent. That is really the one thing I want you to remember. So you've already heard about some of my consulting practices. There in the picture, you can see with the puppies that my boys talked me into getting over the pandemic. But I'm sure you parents also were talked into things too. What you don't know is that I did a lot of work for the Council of Europe, and there are free resources on the website. There are training videos that talk about the online protection of children from some of those things that we don't want to talk about, some of those issues like sex chatting and grooming. So I'll go into a little bit of that detail, but just to let you know that you can find all of these things on the website for free. So I have also, you heard in the introduction that I've worked at e-Enfance, which is here in France. And this is a helpline, right? They run the helpline in France. They provide resources to parents and schools. And I really want to mention about this helpline because I hope that in Nigeria that there are helplines out there where parents and children can call to get assistance on social media, online video games, and anything else that is happening. If you don't already have one, then you need to create one with your Ministry of Education, Ministry of Families, all of you entrepreneurs out there. This is something that you can do. So that's your challenge. Here in France, I have been fortunate to be the digital parenting expert on the French news channel, France 24. And I'm also really excited because they usually have me come in and speak in English and not in French. So that's good. And I've done things for BBC, for World News, where they've interviewed me to talk about child influencers. So any of you parents who have a child who's thinking, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be an influencer, I want to make millions and see it rain, just know that there is a lot more work into it. And parents, you have to be there to support your child if that's the direction you're going to go. You can't just let them do it on their own. I've also worked for the Family Online Safety Institute, which is in the United States, and they are the first lobbying support association for families and parents in the United States. So lots of great things there. You can also see their website for free. I like always telling you about free resources because there are so many things out there. I've done work with Google, been on panels and workshops and always sharing some of the best practices and things that I've learned over the past 10 years in this digital child online protection space. So those are some of the things I will be sharing with you today. This is just something that was fun that came up last year. I helped write a guide, a parent's guide for Instagram. And so again, more of those free resources, because even though you hear about tech companies and you think, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, I challenge you again to go to some of those safety centers and download the materials. They are trying to help you help your children be safe and responsible online. The resources are there. It's up to you to go and find them. I also have done school workshops where I come in and speak with kids and I find out what they're doing online and where they're going online. And this is some of the most fun and joyful work because the children are our future and they are doing some incredible things. And once again, they need us. They need our guidance. They need to know that there are opportunities in the digital age, in the digital environment, and they need to know that we can provide them and that we can guide them, perhaps not knowing all of the technical language, but that, we have common sense, maturity, wisdom, and we can understand if a situation is going someplace where it shouldn't. So here we go. What I would like to do with you for the next, I think I have about 45 minutes. What I would like to do with you is explain to you a little bit about the online world of children today. Some of the things that they see that they're going through. And I do this because I want you to be aware. And I don't want to scare you. I never want to bring the fear, okay? I want to bring the awareness because once you know about these things, then you can have conversations with your children. And the number one thing that I tell all parents, so I'm saying it now, you will hear me say it again, is have those conversations with your children, with your young people, with your teenagers. They will open up. They will tell you. If you pick a moment that's calm, not when you've been yelling and all upset about something, but when you're calm, when everybody's been fed, when you're just hanging out doing nothing, ask them about their online world, about their online activities. If there's anything that they want to talk to you about, even if you don't know the answers, just say, I'm here to listen and to guide you because I love you and I want what is best for you in this online world. Okay, give it a try and see what happens. Okay, so if we were in a big room, I would ask you to raise your hands or throw something in the chat. But right now, I'm just live streaming this and talking. So I hope that you are with me at home and doing this. One of the first questions that I ask all parents and caregivers and educators is, how do children and young people, how do they go online? Do you know? Because you should know, right? There is a difference if they are going online with their smartphones, then with their tablets and computers, gaming consoles. You can even see there's a picture of Apple Watches, smartwatches. Yes, you can get online with smartwatches, smart TVs. Parents are not thinking about all of these things, right? So sometimes they'll say, oh, I've got this locked down. I know when they're playing online video games, I know I've got it under control. Only to find out that their child is watching a smart TV and has found YouTube and is there watching TikTok reels and any other movie that you've told them not to see. They are watching it. They know about it. Ooh, and guess what, parents? If you have told your child, no, you cannot play that game that's over 18. No, you cannot play GTA 5 or Call of Duty. They can see it on YouTube. They can watch somebody else playing. So that will help you understand why they know all the terminology, why they know what's going on. It's because they're watching it elsewhere. So anyway, I'm going to give you some tips and strategies. So don't worry. I just want you to realize that it's all around you. And even if you have everything in your house locked down, locked up with parental controls and whatnot, when your little person goes over to somebody else's house, or when they go to school or get on the bus or what have you, they're going to have access to online activities that you will not know about. So your job as a digital parent is to make sure that you guide your children, you give them your expectations, how you want them to behave online, so that way they will continue to do this when you're not in the room. Okay, you get me. So some of the positives that we've been seeing, remote learning, right? So for those of us who have been fortunate to have access and Wi-Fi and computers and ways to get online, we've been able to do remote learning through this pandemic. Online video gaming, yes, you will see it both here in the positives and opportunities and also a bit later in the challenges, because it's a mix of everything, right? And if you don't know, now you know. Ask your children. They will tell you why they like Fortnite. They will tell you what kinds of strategies they're using to play the game. It's not always what you think, parents, and you won't know unless you ask. So connecting with family and friends, of course, look at me. I'm here in Paris, France, speaking to you in Nigeria and all around the world, and we couldn't do this without being connected. So I think that these are some of the positive benefits that we have seen from the pandemic and from this time. So let's talk about some of those online birthday parties and online parties. Yes, it may not have been exactly how we wanted to celebrate things, but we did parties. We were able to, speak with grandparents during the pandemic, because sometimes we weren't able to, get outside. So just again, focusing on some of those positives. Online discovery, they're out there dancing, singing, creating, coding, watching all sorts of things on YouTube as well that are educational and entertaining. So I think you cannot forget how important this is, and letting them have this window to the world, because they can really see anything. And as we all know, with parenting young people, if they can see it and they can believe it, they can become it. So you are really helping them with their discovery of things that we are unimaginable for us because we just didn't think of it, but that they will think of. Online empathy, I really want to stress online empathy because as you're playing games or watching them play games or watching them on social media, and perhaps they've seen someone making comments or something else, you can intervene. You can come in and say, yeah, well, did you think that was nice? Did you think that was cool that she said that or he said that? You can teach your children to be kind. This is very similar to when they were a child, right? They were really little, and if they handed you something or you gave them something and they looked at you and you would say, "What do you say?" Right? You would prompt them to say thank you. You would prompt them to say please. By understanding what they're doing in the online world, you can help them. You can prompt them by sharing kindness. You can prompt them by showing resilience, helping them bounce back from situations where previously they might have said, oh, that got thrown out of that game, or I wasn't invited to this party. I saw the online invitation. You can teach them to bounce back. So all of these things are things that you can do as a parent without having any tech skills. So I've got you on that. Inclusion and community. I think it is so important to realize that the online world has changed. We are now able to see all different sorts of people from different lifestyles and cultures, religions, and that everyone can be included. I shared this slide from Instagram because my niece has Down syndrome. And so for me, it's very important that she sees other people who look like her, who are out there doing everything else that all the other kids do. So if you have someone that has special needs or any challenges, you can find supportive, positive communities online if you go and look for them. I also wanted to mention neurodiversity. We've seen a lot of positives in the space for children who are on the spectrum or who have other challenges. And there are places for them to go. There are games for them to play. And really, once again, we are doing the same things. We're building that empathy, that kindness, that resilience, and we're showing them the opportunities so they can play just like everyone else. Okay. So again, just a reminder, I always want to give you strategies. So you're asking your children about their online world. I want you to continue to encourage critical thinking. You do this in the real world, but I want you to do it online. I want you to share in their online activities. Sit down and play that game with them. They want to do that TikTok dance challenge. Get up there and do it with them. And please, please, please respect your age restrictions for the apps, games, and platforms. They are there for a reason. These young children should not be on the platforms for older teens. Older teens should not be on platforms for young adults. There are rules, and as a lawyer, those rules are made for a reason. Okay, so let's keep going. Let me talk briefly about social media. Again, you just heard me say respect those age restrictions, right? So this is a chart that was done a couple of years ago, but it's still up to date. If you see something that's not, you write to me and let me know. And this was done by the NSPCC, which is a charity in the United Kingdom. And here they show you what is available for children under 13, like Roblox and FaceTime, and for children who are 13 and over. Yep, that's pretty much everything else: Snapchat, Pinterest, Skype, TikTok. So if your child is 9 years old and they have a TikTok account, I hope, I'm not going to tell you don't do it, I hope that you are with them, supporting them, monitoring them, checking those chat and comments and who is connecting with them, okay? There is a reason that we have these age limits, and it's not because we think that at 13, magically your child can understand. No, it's a little bit more than that, but mostly it's for advertising reasons too, and you don't want your child's data all over the place in some of these companies. You can see 16 plus is for some things like WhatsApp and Telegram Messenger. And then you have the 18 plus. And yes, you're seeing YouTube. That's right. You're seeing YouTube because YouTube was made for adults. It was not made for children. And yet children love YouTube. Of course, it's entertaining. You can see anything. You can see everything. But no, YouTube over 18, no. Don't believe me? That's okay. Go read the terms and conditions. Go on the Safety Center for YouTube. Go on the community guidance, the community platforms for any of these websites. And really, parents, when I talk about encouraging critical thinking, it's for you too. Don't just hand over these phones because you want them to, go and be busy. I want you to do your research and say, is this the best thing I can give to my child? Is this the best app, the best website, the best game? Because if you're giving them the best, then they will have the best. But if you're just, not thinking about it, well, you know what's happening. Okay, so 18 to 13. So what does this mean? In between 13 to 18, your child can go on YouTube with your permission. Under 13, they're supposed to be on YouTube Kids. That's right, YouTube Kids. So I need you to check that out as well. Okay, so I also, when we're talking about social media, and I did this on purpose, I went and looked up social media viral challenges in Nigeria. So you go do this yourselves if you want to see what's out there and what these young people are doing. Because I tell you, some of it was a little crazy, right? But I want you to talk to your children and your young people, your teenagers, about these viral challenges, about the things that they are seeing and about what they're doing. The reason why is because I want you to stress to them that internet is forever, right? These things, internet doesn't forgive, it doesn't forget. And they put these images up, these videos of themselves dancing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and even just commenting. And someone can take a screenshot of it, or they can do a screen recording of it, and it stays forever. So this little example here, just happened to find that on Google, where this young lady is taking a picture and it says taking a selfie with the Statue of Liberty, which is in New York. And here she is in front of the Eiffel Tower, which is in Paris. That's all I'm saying. So some conversation starters, what can you do, right? And this is about everything online, but we can still say social media. You can ask your child, it's really called the 4 W's, what did you do today? Who did you play with? Who did you chat with? Where did you go online? What websites, platforms? When did you go online? Did you do this at nighttime with your friends? And this is something that came out of the Parent Zone in the United Kingdom. So if you want more, you can take a look at their website. So let's take a quick little peek at online video games. I really want to stress again about understanding and respecting those age ratings. So on the screen, you can see Grand Theft Auto. Now, if you have a 9-year-old who's playing Grand Theft Auto, then we need to talk. I want you to sit down with that 9-year-old and you play with them so you can see what is in this game. Because I assure you, parents, you do not want your 9-year-old playing this, okay? It's over 18. Fortnite, okay, Fortnite has some things. It has some fun things. Everybody's like talking about Fortnite going crazy. Fortnite is 12 plus. Sometimes you'll see 13 plus. My own boys, they're 12 and 15. They do play. But again, if you're talking with your children about what they're doing, what they're seeing, you are the best parental control out there because you can provide parental guidance. Now, Roblox is usually for the younger children, but there have been some bad actors who come and play. And let's face it, you're going to find bad actors anywhere online and anywhere there are children, right? Because sometimes they want to go to where the children are. This is why it is crucial for you to be involved in your child's online activities. I am not trying to put all the pressure on you. I am not saying you have to monitor every second. But you need to make sure that your child will come and talk to you if they see something that is inappropriate or if they feel strange about something, so that way you can intervene. Okay, I've done enough preaching there. So how can you find out what type of game is good for your child, right? Remember I was talking about giving them those good opportunities, giving them the good stuff. Well, you can use Common Sense Media. I'm trying to give you as many resources as I can. So you can check Common Sense Media, which does game reviews, app reviews, books, movies. They have great parent guides, everything you need to know about Fortnite, everything you need to know about Minecraft, right? So take advantage of these free resources. If that doesn't help, talk with other parents in your community, in your schools, talk with other relatives and friends. Somebody is doing something with Fortnite in your community, I can assure you. Okay, you can also go on another website, a favorite of mine by Andy Robertson, called Ask About Games, that also talks about, what's inside the game, what the challenges are, what it looks like. So again, resources, parents, you've got them. So some conversation starters when we're talking about games, let's start with the basics. What are you playing? You can also ask them, what's it rated, right? Because they know, they do know. Is it a multiplayer game? Hint, hint, parents, if it's multiplayer, that means your child can be playing with anyone, anywhere, of any age. You can also try to show some interest by saying, who's your favorite YouTuber, right? Who's showing you the latest strategies on this game? And what do you think? Do you think this is suitable for your younger brother or sister or for your cousin? Ask them and see what they say. And if they tell you, well, no, then you can say, do you think it's okay for you? Now, you know they're going to say yes, but this will get you to get those conversations started. And for me, the most important, what do you do if you see something inappropriate? Your child should know, your teen should know, and I promise you the majority of them do. They should know how to block someone, how to mute someone, and how to report someone. And please stress to them that they can report someone. Most of the reporting mechanisms on these games and platforms are anonymous, so no one will know that they did it. And this is good because we want to keep those environments safe and clean for all the players. Just think about some of those younger players that get on these platforms. Okay. Online harassment. I'm going to go a little bit faster because I'm watching the time and I'm trying to get all this good stuff to you. So just to educate you a little bit, in case you don't know what the kids are talking about when they're saying trolling. Oh, somebody was trolling me. Well, this is a person who starts some flame wars or who's basically just intentionally upsetting other people online. So they could be saying anything. They could be talking about their clothes, their dance, their school, whatever, and they're doing it on purpose. For a troll, they get excitement when they see the chat light up and everybody's angry and mad, and they just sit back and laugh. Cyber stalking. So this is when we're really, using technology to make someone afraid or make them concerned about their safety. Cyber stalking, obviously, any sort of stalking behavior, this is not anything good. So be prepared to report these types of behaviors on the platform or even with your internet service provider. Catfishing. We're hearing more and more about catfishing, right? So this is this idea that you're luring someone into a relationship and you're not who you say you are. And while we are talking about this for children, I can tell you that this happens a lot for some of the older adults who think that they're meeting someone online because, let's face it, everybody's looking for somebody sometimes. And so let's say they're meeting someone that they think is their own age, living in another country or not, and that person is not who that person is. Yes, Monica, I completely agree. You are the best parental control for your kids' online safety activity. Thank you so much. I say that all the time. People say, what's the best parental control? What's the app that I can use? And it's like, no, it's you. You are the parental control. And actually, I don't even like parental control, that phrase. I would say parental guidance, right? You are guiding your children. That's what I would like to see. Okay, so doxing. Doxing comes from documents, right? So they're digging in and they're revealing all your information, just putting all your documents online. They're circulating this stuff out in public. Yes, Martin said communication is key. I love it. You people are listening to me. Thank you so much. This is it. You've already got half the battle taken care of. Swatting. I'm not quite sure how widespread this is, if it's something that we're seeing in Nigeria or in other places. I know we've seen it a lot in the United States. And this is where somebody is playing video games and they get upset or not, and somebody's just being a jerk, and they call the SWAT. They call emergency police, and they make a crank call and say, oh my gosh, you have to get over to Elizabeth's house right now. I think something bad is happening. And so in come the police, all locked and loaded because they think they're responding to a real emergency, and no, it was not. So that is called swatting. Yes, children have been hurt. Young people have been hurt by this. I believe there have even been some deaths again in the United States. Cyberbullying, unfortunately, cyberbullying is something that is just not going away. Year after year, we're hearing about this. It is the top #1 concern that we receive calls for in Europe on our helplines. And so what is cyberbullying? It is that intentional, repeated action, bullying someone, and it's causing them psychological harm. Because it's taking place on a connected tablet or device, this is why we call it cyberbullying. It can happen on online social networks. It can happen in games. You can be bullied on your smartwatch as you're sitting there getting these messages and messages and messages. The worst part is that it's 24/7. It does not stop. So I want you to think about that as well. Impersonation, you're using someone else's identity. You're just, sending out stuff. These are all things that bad actors can do, but you need to have your strategies in place. You want to talk to your children and your young people about their online world again. Explain some of the dangers of risky online behavior. And you yourself watch for some of those warning signs that something's not just what it should be. You are their parent. You can say, oh, they're just being a teenager. Oh, they're just being a young person. But you also have that mommy sense, that daddy sense when something is not right. So talk to them about it. Don't accuse, talk to them to find out. And if you notice any changes in behavior, don't just say, oh, well, this is, how the teens are these days. Notice it and reflect and talk with your child and your teen. And as always, build that resilience. We really want to have children who can bounce back from any situation. So some of the conversation starters in this space, how do you know the information that you see and hear is accurate, right? We're seeing this with social media, with news, getting messages, oh, do you think someone's trying to convince you of something? Or what might be the motivation? Why is this person contacting you? Again, you don't have to be a tech genius to talk to your teenager, your young person about these types of issues. And quite simply, how do you know the person is who they say they are? Okay, they're calling you up and saying that they are this and that, and they have this and that. How do you know? Oh, they sent you a picture? How do you know the picture is real? Okay, so it's things like this. Really dig deep and have that critical thinking. Okay, now this is the part I know that you don't want to talk about, but we have to talk about it because I want you to be aware of what is out there, okay? Again, when you hand over a tablet, anything that's Wi-Fi connected to a child, to a teenager, you are opening up their world to everything that is out there. And there is a lot of stuff out there. There are bad actors out there. There are innocent children who are doing things like sexting, right? So they're sending messages to each other, boyfriend and girlfriend, and they send a message because they think it's cute. Now, before you go crazy, think back to when you were a child and you had that crush on so-and-so and you wrote them that note. Our children and teens are doing the same thing, except they're doing it online. And this is where the problem is. They are curious, they are testing things out. And this is where, as a parent, you need to jump in and support them about this whole online space, because this is not the area where they should be testing things out, okay? Online grooming. This is the idea that somebody is trying to meet your child and build a relationship with them, have some sort of confidence. If your child says, oh, well, they told me not to tell, etc., then this is something for you to dig a little deeper, because online grooming, it's just that simple. People are not always who they say they are, and they might be looking out for something else and wanting something else than what your child is expecting. There are other types of sexual violence, like sexual exploitation. This is something that usually they're calling it sextortion, which is like extortion, where someone is blackmailing a child, right? Or a teenager or a young person. And that's because that person, let me give you a scenario, boyfriend and girlfriend, or they think they're talking to their boyfriend and girlfriend, and someone says, send me a picture. So they send a picture, and it's one of those pictures. They send the picture, and the person says, well, if you don't give me, $100, 100 euros, some Naira, whatever, I am going to, blast this all over Facebook or Instagram or send it to your family. This is sexual exploitation. So again, you need to get in there to help your child so that way they understand that you are on their side, and that way you can try to find solutions. Pornography. Yep, I know you don't want to talk about it, but I've put some facts up here. Pornography sites get more visits each month than Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter combined, okay? You please go look at this website. It's called culturerefrain.org. They have lots of statistics, lots of free resources to help you get conversations started about pornography, about all the hypersexualization that we see in dance videos, on television, in movies, etc. So again, this is for you to understand that your child and your teen, your young person, probably has seen something that you would classify as porn, but now it's up for you to not panic, get in there and have a conversation. Okay, revenge porn. This is again like the sexting and sharing images, but here we say non-consensual sharing of images, meaning that person has then shared the image. Boyfriend, girlfriend, 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 boyfriend, boyfriend. Somebody's in a relationship, or they're friends. They get a picture and then they share it publicly once they are no longer friends or no longer dating. Yeah, these things do happen. I've put this slide in because I wanted to show you here in Europe, we've really seen, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, that there were more children online, there were more adults online. So consequently, you can imagine child sexual exploitation. There were more opportunities for bad actors. So again, some strategies: asking your children about their online world, explaining the dangers of risky online behavior, encouraging that critical thinking, watching for warning signs. If they're receiving gifts, if they're looking at explicit photos, if your child starts speaking differently, I know you're thinking, what does she mean by that? If they start speaking differently, it could be because they're using the language of the person who is grooming them or who is speaking to them. So I don't want to leave you hanging, right? So I want to give you some conversation starters of ways that you can talk about these conversations and these topics that we don't want to talk about. So the first one, I don't really know what to say, but we have to talk about this. Or I want to talk to you about one of these awkward topics. Is this okay? Is this a good time? Do you really know the identity of this person who's contacting you? Yes, he or she looks brilliant and beautiful and, just the perfect person that I would love to meet. But, how do you know this person is who they say they are? And are they asking you to keep this friendship a secret? If so, why is that? Again, help your children, your teens, your young people, guide them. And I keep saying young people because this goes all the way up, in my opinion, 23, 25, they still need our assistance. They still need our support. Again, this is what I just showed you about fighting pornography, Culture Reframed, a website that I would encourage you to go to. The digital parenting community, that is my own Facebook private group where you can come in, ask questions, get support, share strategies, and just know that you are not alone. There are other people out there dealing with the same sorts of situations. Again, always, trying to share as many resources as possible. Some of the things that I mentioned to you today are from these brochures that I created for the Council of Europe that you can find on the Council of Europe website. And actually, if you just write my name, Elizabeth Milovidov, on Google, you will find a lot of stuff, mostly free, I hope free, and that way you can get some of the support that you need. So I think I'm going to slow my roll just a little bit and leave you with some contact information. I do hope that you reach out. You can find me on social media just about anywhere at DigiParent Coach and on my website. And Loretta, come back in and talk to me. Come on.
Wow. I just sat here and I was listening and smiling and nodding. At some point, your voice was so soothing that I almost off to sleep. But I told myself, no, you have to wake up. In session. I liked your intonation, your accent, the way you took us through it. It was meant to be scary, like everything online these days is very, very scary. But you made it look feel like, don't worry, I've got you. There are resources here and there. Wow, you are an amazing you're phenomenal. Like, I could really get up there and give you a standing ovation. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so sweet. But Loretta, you got it. You got what I wanted to do is, make people aware, but also tell you there are resources, there are strategies. And you know what, Loretta? We don't have a choice, right? Internet is here. It's not going anywhere. So we've got to get on top of this.
Yes. And it reminds me of what we learn in the inner circle every day. Like our coach keeps telling us, don't parent from a place of fear. Instead, have plans. She went all out to put together a sex educate, like a pro challenge, like from rookie to pro. Most of these things just talked about, like I said, us yadas, we listen from a different perspective. Our ears have been attuned to hear things differently. Really, the inner circle makes you very informed, removes you from parenting with fear to parenting with a lot of resources and courage. And this evening just proves the point again. Anyone who has not keyed into the system, I don't know what the person is waiting for. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elizabeth Midodiville. You know, when you started and you were talking about the blessings of the internet, this is one. I'm getting to meet Prof for the first time, and amazingly, it's the blessings of the internet. And you know, one of the things that Dr. Elizabeth shared today was how we can use this to our advantage, so that it doesn't end up becoming a disadvantage to our children, because the possibility of it being a disadvantage is very high. So the bridge will now be what you do with it as a parent. The internet is a good thing, absolutely, but what do you do with it? You know, like Olakunle Shoyinran, who started the first session, said, he said, what will come, will come. The internet is here with us. What will come, will come. It is how ready we are. So whether you are afraid or you are not afraid, the internet is there. And your children are going to, they're going to get information online anyway. So it's not even about fear. You know, I usually say that when you parent from the place of fear, you make a mess of your journey, because you are going to be in a state of panic all the time, and you're never going to take action, because fear cripples you. It doesn't even help you. So, you know, as you were talking about, you know, some of the issues that we must discuss with teenagers, and that's why I keep talking about the people who do, you know, things professionally. Now, Dr. Elizabeth has gone in to look at the digital space and broke it down. I don't think I can break it down like this. All right. And broke it down, you know, in a way that we can, you know, take it one step at a time. And especially for those of us who have older teenagers. These are conversations that you must have with your teenagers. Because if you don't have it, then they will mess themselves up. And at the end of the day, it becomes a disaster. And you can't even blame the children. So when parents say, oh, is the child, is that the child doesn't know, I'm usually very baffled. Like, well, the child doesn't know. That's why the child has a parent anyway.
And they're a child. They are a child.
And they're a child anyway. Because if they are supposed to know, then they don't need us.
They don't need you.
They don't need you. We are there to guide. And I like when Prof talked about, you know, guidance instead of control. I just love that correction. If you are in the academy, you would have heard me say that your job is not to control. You are a guider. You are guiding. Well, the moment you bring in control, you mess up everything. It's not control, because you really cannot. Why do you want to control? You really, all right? You want to guide. When you control, it means that you disempower your children not to be able to take decisions when you are not there, because they need you. That's the difference. So when we teach our children to obey only, we disempower them. So we disempower them because when the time for decisions will come, our children will not be able to make decisions without us, because obedience will need somebody to direct at every point in time. But when you empower your child to make decisions, then you don't need to be there all the time. Because, you know, when Dr. Elizabeth was speaking, she said the truth is that you can't be there every minute of the time, but you can teach what your children will do. I usually would say in a very humorous way that if you have to, so there's something that's very common in Africa. Parents want to control how their children watch TV. They take out the cable, put in their bag and go to work. You know, it cracks me up, really. I'm like, what are you talking about? If you have to take a cable to work, that means there's something wrong with your parenting in the first place. There's something wrong with it. All right. So it's control, and control doesn't really last. Your children will find a way to break down the system of control. And that is because they are digital natives. Come on, we are raising people who own the digital world. It's a different ballgame. We learned how to use digitals. They were born into digitals. It's different. So we can't even, you know, come from the place of control. We must come from the place of guidance with a lot of information and also teaching. All right. Thank you so much again, Dr. Elizabeth. That was amazing. Thank you, Loretta. That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Loretta, over to you.
Okay, so everybody, I know you would have questions for our speaker tonight. Feel free to drop the questions while she goes on a quick water break for 5 minutes, please. Thank you.
Hello out there. My name is Abidemi, and my wife here, Lola. We're just here to talk about the Intentional Parenting Inner Circle Academy or Club. Actually, when the Inner Circle first started, it was my wife actually, and she had been joining for a while. You know, we men now. What's this new style that this woman has brought to the house again? Let me just be looking at what's going on. But through the days, through the months, what she has been learning, bringing it to the forefront, and how she has been parenting with the kids. Most of the time when our kids do some very things that will almost drive you nuts, and you want to, and the woman says, no, don't spank, do this, do that. And I was like, what kind of new style is this one? You know, that kind of thing. And I noticed one thing, especially my daughter. There's a way my daughter reacts to my wife when it comes to some certain things. Like the way she calmly speaks to my wife calmly speaks to her, she responds very positively. And then that is where I noticed that you can get things done without spanking. You can get things done without beating. You can get things done without that kind of severe discipline that we were used to when we were young kids. And when I saw those changes, and I decided that I think there is a better way. I'm not a father that likes to beat in the first place anyway. But when I tend to see those changes, I decided that I think this is the best place to be, and this is the kind of these are the kind of principles I want to adopt. So if you're a parent out there, no matter who you are, the Inner Circle Academy Club is the best place to be. You get to learn a lot of things on how to intentionally parent with your child. You learn curriculums, you learn principles, you learn strategies, you learn skills. And skills, as we know, skills don't follow you. Skills are learned, skills are acquired. And the Parenting Academy is the most wonderful place to acquire and learn those skills. So let me not blab too much. Let me allow my wife to contribute to.
As my husband has said, TIP Inner Circle, if you're a parent out there and you want to learn to parent with structure, parent with calm, be more intentional in your journey as a parent, because parenting is a learned skill, and the TIP Inner Circle is the place to learn these skills. So join us in the Inner Circle, or join us in the yard, as we say. I want to say thank you to Coach Wendy and the wonderful TIP team for the great work that they are doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Okay, Lorita, we don't have any question. I think we can round up because in the next few minutes we will be up for the next session.
All right.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Loretta, for letting me come play with you. If you need anything else, you know where to find me. Go,
Thank
ladies.
You so much, Dr. Elizabeth. Please follow her on Instagram.
Everywhere.
All right. You just put Diggy Parent, you're going to see her. Diggy Parent Coach. The Diggy Parent Coach, you will see her. All right.
Yes, come give me a virtual hug, Wendy. A virtual hug.
Oh yes, virtual hug. I wish. I'm sure I'm gonna see you soon. Right?
Okay, I'll be looking for it. Okay, bye everyone.
Much fun. All right, bye. Thank you so much for your time. Please follow Dr. Elizabeth. I put on her Instagram page. That's it. Diggy Parent Coach, right?
That's it. Yes, thank you.
Bless. Please follow her on Instagram and please rev over her, tag her, share about what you learned today. See you in the next 3 minutes where we are going to be with Uncle Uwe. I am enjoying this session. Thank you, Lorita. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Iswekin.
And I'm Happiness Iswekin.
And we are Livon Yarders from Benin City. We joined the Inner Circle in December 2021, and it has been an awesome experience for me and my family. You know, last year when my wife introduced the Inner Circle to me, I actually cared less about it. I'm one of those parents who feels like you don't need anyone to teach you or coach you on how to parent a child. You know, but she insisted, she persisted, she enrolled me for the TIP Annual Conference of last year, and before the end of the first session, I was already hooked. And by the end of the conference, we had registered for the Inner Circle. And I want to thank my wife for bringing me to the light of parenting, it has been a journey that has been worth the while.
When we joined the Inner Circle, I thought Coach Wendy was going to teach us how to make our child better. But one of the first things you will learn when you join the academy is that parenting is first about you. Children learn through modeling. So whatever character you want in your child, you must first possess. The knowledge we have gotten these past 8 months has been life transforming. The weekly webinars, the monthly webinars, the knowledge we get. Sometimes after a session, you just sit down for 30 minutes, your mind is still thinking about what you just heard.
Seriously.
It has been amazing.
Seriously.
The connection tools we get every day has helped us better connect with our daughter. And family time has always been awesome.
So hurry up, join the Inner Circle today, and you will never regret it for any reason. So thank you all for your time, and we hope to see you in the yard.